Hello and welcome to Levant TV headlines. Iraqi troops continue battling Islamic State in northern Tikrit, which officials describe as the militant group's last stronghold in the city. An explosion at a dairy factory in Yemen's Hodeidah port has killed at least 25 workers, with conflicting accounts attributing the blast to an airstrike by a Saudi-led alliance or to a rocket landing from a nearby army base. Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister Hossein Amir-Abdollahian has asked United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon to do everything possible to immediately halt Saudi-led airstrikes in Yemen. 6 world powers and Iran have met again in a bid to reach a preliminary accord on reining in Tehran's nuclear program after failing to agree on crucial details such as the lifting of UN sanctions by a midnight deadline. And Palestine has formally joined the International Criminal Court, a move the Palestinians hope could open the door to the possible prosecution of Israelis for alleged war crimes. Now let's take a look at the top headlines in today's newspapers in the Middle East. Starting with Egypt, the Egypt Independent, which leads reporting that the United States has announced it was lifting its hold on the supply of military equipment to Egypt, which was frozen when the military took power in Cairo nearly 2 years ago. The paper also reports that most of the Arab and Islamist parliaments attending the Inter-Parliamentary Union's 132nd session rejected the Turkish attempt to freeze Egypt's membership and support the dissolved parliament of the Muslim Brotherhood. From Lebanon, the Daily Star leads reporting that Free Patriotic Movement leader Michel Aoun has said that Saudi Arabia's military intervention in Yemen violated international law. The paper also reports that an Australian father has been found guilty of marrying off his 12-year-old daughter to a 26-year-old Lebanese man. From the UAE, the Khalij Times leads reporting that the United States said it was prepared to work past a midnight deadline if progress was being made towards clinching a preliminary nuclear deal between Iran and global powers. The paper also reports that the Indian civil aviation authorities have begun an investigation into an incident in which an Emirates and an Etihad plane came dangerously close to each other over Indian airspace. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East headlines from the UK papers. The Telegraph leads its Middle East news, reporting that a photographer working in a refugee camp in Syria unexpectedly found a little girl surrendering to him after he pointed his lens at her. The picture of the little girl was published in journalist Osman Sayerli's Türkiye newspaper in January, but was tweeted by another journalist based in Gaza this week and has been since retweeted tens of thousands of times. The Guardian leads its Middle East news, reporting that the Palestinian Authority completed its journey to formal membership of International Criminal Court following a low-key ceremony at The Hague headquarters of the global institution of last resort. The move could open the way for Israelis to be prosecuted for war crimes, despite Israel not being a member, and it also allows the prosecution of Palestinian militants. The Independent leads its Middle East news, reporting that the government is facing calls to investigate whether British-supplied jets flown by Saudi Arabian forces were used in an airstrike on a Yemeni refugee camp, which aid workers said killed up to 40 people and left 200 injured. Now let's take a look at the top Middle East headlines in the international papers. From Germany, the Deutsche Welle reports that Tripoli lawmakers have sacked Omar al-Hassi, the Prime Minister of Libya's rival government. Details behind al-Hassi's dismissal were unclear, with early media reports suggesting he had lied to lawmakers about government revenues. And finally, the International New York Times reports that US Secretary of State John Kerry renewed his push to secure a preliminary accord that would limit Iran's nuclear program a day after negotiators extended the March 31st deadline. The administration's calculation is that a preliminary accord would lay the foundation for a comprehensive agreement to be completed by the end of June. And for more updates, please visit levant.tv. Thanks for watching. Be sure to join us again tomorrow. Bye for now.